Hey guys, so finally the tutorial vid is done. I was sick in the first half of the video, but I'm not now. Yay! Okay, so let's just start off here. Warning, I'm not really a good teacher, so please I tried my best to make you understand as possible. So here it is. Okay, let's start. So let's start off by opening the app Medibang. It's available on iOS and Android, and it's totally free. You don't need to pay for anything. And I don't think there is any in-app purchases here, so that's great. Okay, so let me just make a new canvas. Let's exit this canvas and then tap the new canvas to make a new work. Okay, so tap new canvas, and then you need to put the width at 1920 and the height at 1080. If you're using iMovies, it's crucial that you use those measurements. If it's not iMovies, I suggest you still use those measurements. So let's start off by drawing. So in the first layer, this is where I do my background. The colors, it's different colors. I prefer blue right now. I'm feeling a little blue, happy blue. Okay, so in the second layer, on top of the background layer, that's where I'm drawing right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you how I'm drawing. So let's make a side view character, random character, I guess. This is gonna take long. I'm gonna fast forward it. Okay, so once you're done with the first frame of your animation or storyboard, you can make a new layer and then lower the opacity of the previous one to make it kind of like an onion skin type of, thing. So let's make it like he's turning towards the camera. Okay, so let's draw someone who's facing the camera. That's him, but in another frame. Okay, that's obvious. Duh, CJ. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not really good at teaching. Okay, so oh gosh, it crashed. I'm sorry. This is the negative things in doing your animatics in an iPad. It lags and it crashes sometimes. But if you really want to make an animatic, you have to deal with those things. Okay, it's not stopping me, so it won't stop you. Okay, so let's continue. You know what? I'm too lazy in drawing another character in a little detail, so let's just draw someone without any details. A random character side view. Okay. I always draw them smiling because they should be happy. Everyone should be happy. Okay, so let's draw his side view and then the onion skin. Lower the opacity of the previous one and go to the third layer, the layer number 3 there, on top of the layer 2. And then you just draw someone facing the camera or where you want the character to face on the next frame. You know, in storyboards, you don't need detailed animations. You just need to draw what you want the audience to see. If someone is jumping, you can do 3 frames. 1 frame from never mind, that's a bad example. Let's just use this example. The first frame is him turning from side to front, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need to draw. 2 frames of that. I think I explained it right. I mean, you don't need to draw a detail of each frame of him turning towards the camera. You just need to make 1 frame from him looking side view and then the other looking at the front. So that's it. Okay, so I did the front view, and you need to match the previous character if it's possible for you to do, okay? Because it'll look really weird if the first frame looks like that and the next frame looks completely different. Okay, so you can put an arrow like that at the side or whichever direction your character went so the audience won't be confused. Because it is a rough sketch. An animatic is a rough sketch of an animation. Okay, so next one, I'm going to teach you how I do like animation in this kind of app. So let's do a walking sequence. No, never mind. Never mind. I'm not really good at walking sequences too. So I'm just gonna show you how I do my usual favorite thing to animate, and that's tears. So let's pick a character from any of my fandom. Mystic Messenger it is. Okay, so I think the character that we all don't want to see cry is V. So I'm gonna make a character. I'm gonna make him right now. I actually recorded this video before the viewed, so this is actually really painful to voice over. Especially to everyone who's sad by him. Anyway, let's continue. So I'm gonna draw him. Okay, now I'm almost done. I'm just gonna put the shadows and the shirt, of course, and a few details, and there we go. So, okay, so you need to look at the layer 3 right here. Okay, this is where we're going to put the tiers of V. Why? Because let's see, if it's in layer 2, you draw it, and you need to erase it for the next tier, for the next frame, you're gonna erase the other parts of the eye. So you need to do it on another layer so the other lines won't get in the way when you're erasing. Okay, so let's do first frame right there. That's it. That's the first frame, okay? And what I usually do is make another layer for the next frame. I lower the opacity of the previous frame and then make the next frame. What happens next after that small tier? Of course, it's a bigger tier. So what I do is this first frame, I export it first. Don't forget to do that, okay? Please. Okay, so after that, I export the second frame. And then you go back to the previous frame and you clear that layer and lower the opacity of the next frame that you did. And at that I save space, okay? So, oh my gosh, it's hard to explain, but I think it's already obvious what I'm doing here. If not, please just ask in the comments because it's hard to explain while voice-overing a recording video. Maybe on a live stream. I'll be doing live streams soon. So maybe that way I can answer all of your questions about this. I'll just fast forward it. I'm sorry, I said I'm not a good teacher. Let me just remind you guys that this is animation. It's really hard. It takes a lot of time, but you know, it's worth the effort. If you really love animation, it's worth the effort. It's a bit easy depending on what you're doing, but it really takes a lot of time. So I'm just giving it out, telling that to you guys before you actually start doing it and then regret and then quit. You know, okay, let's continue. If you watch my animatics, you can see that I do some kind of shadowing. So what I do is below the line art, I make another layer, and you see that the color palette, you need to copy the color of the background and go a little darker. Okay, and I use watercolor wet because it has a softer edge for it. So I don't use airbrush. I don't know why, but I don't use airbrush. I like watercolor wet. So what I do is I shine it below like this. It's really hard to explain how eyeshadow, haha, anyway, how I shadow things, but I sometimes put shadows in front of the faces of the people to put a more dramatic effect. It actually means like desperation, I don't know, or hopelessness. It makes more depth pictures, okay? That's, now you know what I think when I draw stuff and color stuff. Okay, so now, if you've been watching my Dear Evan Hansen animatics, you've seen this one, this eye shine. It means, you know what it means. But, you know, he doesn't need one in this scene. He doesn't have eye shine here. But you can put shines in the tiers too. Now that we're done with the Medibang app, we shall move forward to iMovies or any editing app that you have, okay? Anything is fine, but I use iMovies, which I prefer more and suggest more. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm really sick right now. Anyway, okay, let's make a new project, a new movie. Tap there, and you need to select every frame of it. It needs to be in order so you won't get confused, okay? And you need to create the movie. Waiting. And then, bam. Okay, there it is. At your lower right, you can see that you need to disable the Ken burns, okay? Because 1920 and 1080 is a fixed size for the iMovies, okay? The iMovies app. So let's put an example of a different measurement, like this picture, okay? If you put it here, it won't fit. Some of the parts are cut out. And even if you enable Ken burns, it's gonna move, but it doesn't really move naturally, like this thing. Let me just play it. There we go. Oh gosh, the mic was open while I burped. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, I'm not cutting that out. So let's go back to disabling the Ken burns. I suggest that you do this in every frame, depending on the scene, okay? If you want to zoom in on one part, then you can enable it so the picture will be moving, but I usually prefer to disable it. Alright, now that I'm almost done, you need to shorten the length. This is how you shorten the length of the picture, because it is a frame by frame and a fast animation, because it is tears. You need to shorten the pictures. And speaking of the transition, I prefer you use none when you're using frame by frame, because when you use fade in, this is what it'll look like. Play there. It doesn't look natural, especially when it's just tears rolling off your eye. His eye, okay? But if you want some kind of dramatic effect, you can use that. But if it's an animation, no special transition is needed, okay? Okay, let's just do it in every transition. Put it into none instead of fade. So let's get, I'm just gonna finish everything and just get back to you and explain everything, okay? So let's fast forward here. Now once it's finished, it'll look something like this, and if you drag it left and right, you'll see the animation at the speed that you want, okay? So I'm gonna just shorten this one and this last one, and there we go. You just drag and you can see the speed, but that's not the normal speed of it. This is how fast it actually is. It's pretty slow, okay? And you can't make it faster. So what I do is I export it to my camera roll, okay? Just exporting now. Okay, now that that's exported, I make another project or another movie here. Tap that and select the video that I exported just now and just fast forward it down there. You can see it down there, and it's faster than before, but it's still not as fast as I wanted. So I export it again. It's hard. It's not hard, but it's troubling work, okay? So once it's exported, I do it again. I make a new project. Okay, yeah. I make a new project, and then I select the faster one that I did and make it more fast, okay? Faster. And there. I think this is the speed. There it is. That's how smooth it'll look like with that much fast. Yeah. You get it, okay? It looks smoother if it's faster and more frames. If the animation has more frames and it's fast, it'll look smooth, okay? Well, I guess that's everything. Okay, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. And if you have any other request videos for the tutorial that you want to know about in making an animatic or picking a song, I don't know, you just put it in the comments and I'll see what I can do, okay? Also, if you didn't understand some things in this video, you can just ask in the comments and I'll reply. I'll make it as understandable as possible. I'll do my best, okay? Thank you for watching this really crappy video. Thank you. God bless.